This is Josh here from Inside Wrestling Truth, and my guest today is Billy Black. Billy, how you doing today, man?
I'm good, sir. Thank you.
The first question I have for you is tell us where you're from and who trained you.
I'm originally from Kentucky. I trained down in White Pine, Tennessee for about a year with some guys from NWA. Ended up coming back to Kentucky and finishing my training with Victor Bruiser and Todd Morton.
Who were some guys you followed growing up? Was you a wrestling fan as a kid?
Oh,
Or?
absolutely. Tracy Smothers was the Southern Boys was one of my favorite ones. I actually, when I first got to meet him and work with him, it was amazing. It really was.
Talk about your time in BBW, good and bad.
BBW was a true blessing. Joe Bailey had a product that was unlike any other.
Right.
It was family oriented. It was something people could love and also people could hate. As honestly wish I could find the words actually to explain it, but um, the Bailey product, Bad to Bone Wrestling, it will always go down as one of the best independent promotions in the world. As far as the bad, and this is about as honest as I can be. Uh, with JC and following him around and seeing things fall apart the way they did. The destruction of BBW um, was Paula, was Joe's so-called wife now. Once she became the picture, it was more based around in the money aspect and not the boys no more. And then uh, with the passing of JC and losing him was the final straw for Battle of Mount Wrestling.
What's been your bloodiest match?
My bloodiest match, wow, um, that would be the no rope barbed wire with JC and Max Misery. I took razor wire to the face and cut a main artery in my head, and JC stuck his fingers in my head to keep me from bleeding out.
Wow.
And it was right here at the Coliseum, right here at the Coliseum.
What's been your worst injury? That or
Honestly, I've been lucky, knock on wood. I've been doing this 14 years, no broken bones. The worst injury I've had would be the hot coals match with J Boy. The first and second degree burns from my neck to mid of my legs. My tights melted to me, and that's been the worst one.
was that the hot coals match?
Yep, that was
Yeah.
the fifth anniversary show of the CCW. I actually had New Jack and Sandman tell me that we were probably the craziest bunch of people they've ever met in their life. There's no way in hell they would do it. So I took that as an honor. So
So how long have you been working in the Evansville Coliseum?
Evansville Coliseum, I've been here 9 years. I was here when Bad Business Brown was here running the show. I made my debut for him. JC had done one show prior, and Joe had talked to Bad Business Brown about coming in and talk to Eric and said, "Hey, I got some guys that would really throw a nice loop into the show," and I've been here ever since. So
What's the biggest crowd you've worked in front of?
it would be Raccoon City, Tennessee. Uh, we had a little over 2,300 people, and Devon Dudley and Bubba Ray was on it. Me and Todd Morton worked. Ricky Morton was there. Um, Bull Payne. This is before I even really got to talk to Bull,
Yeah.
because that was Bull gave me my rude awakening to the business. You don't listen, you get the hell beat out of you. And he sure opened my eyes. But that's one guy I had nothing but respect for, and I miss him. He's moved away, and so
How many states have you worked in, and what's your favorite state to work in?
um, I believe Indianapolis, Indiana was my favorite one. Besides here,
Yeah.
I love Evansville, man. The crowds are unbelievable. They love blood here. We love giving it to them. But I believe Indianapolis was my favorite one. I got to wrestle Pondo for IWA Mid South East Coast, and it was actually a show that JC was supposed to be on, but he was double booked, so I took his booking for him so he could keep the show, and it was one of my memorable matches. So,
do you work like just Indiana, or you worked all over?
you know, I was going everywhere. I was in Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana. I went to Atlanta. I've gone to Indianapolis, but right now we're my family situation and stuff going on. Right now I'm just in Indiana here.
How do you feel about hardcore wrestling?
Honest and truly, if I had to tell somebody nowadays to do hardcore, I would steer them away from it because the injuries you sustain, the scars you have to uh, to sustain is something you have to live with the rest of your life. And me, I'm a violent son of a bitch. I'm telling you, violence, I love it, and I would soon get in there and just go blow to blow with somebody. So on my aspect, I love it, but the new kids coming in that's got talent that can wrestle, I want to steer them away from it because a lot of people saying hardcore's dying out because they've overdone it. Well, I think we've done everything we could possibly do here except shoot somebody.
Yeah.
You know, and that's as honest as I can get. You have your hardcore fans who, what we call ECW brand, who they want the violence, they want the blood, they want to see somebody wrapped in barbed wire, they want to see somebody bleed and get stitched up. But you know, they love it here. We're part of we call us the Blood Club, and me and JC and Alistair Fear and all the guys that's coming in bled buckets. I'm not talking about a little bit here and there. I'm talking about buckets of blood and carried out on stretchers. And like I said, JC putting his fingers in my head to keep me from bleeding out. And would I do it again? Well, hell yeah, I'd do it again. You know? So
let's talk about some of your closest friends in the business and some of your biggest enemies in the business.
Closest friends in this business, you don't have any, and that's as honest. I mean, outside the business, you come to work. You come to work. It's like any job. You get too close, you get burnt. You don't get close enough, you get burnt. As far as the wrestling business, I'm here for me. You know, I'm not here for the money. I'm here for the fans. You know, I drive from Michigan to come down here to do what I do. Uh, there are guys in this business that I would jump in front of a bullet for, and they know who they are. And as far as enemies, I've had my run-ins, but it's been because of rumors, but I've squashed that stuff. I know me and New Jack had our falling out here because of stuff in the locker room, and I said some things to him that was very disrespectful and uncalled for, and I wasn't thinking because I was young and stupid. And believe it or not, I mentored myself after the way he was. He didn't care who you was. He didn't care what you did. You get in the ring with him, you don't listen, he's going to beat your ass.
Yeah.
And if not, look at the mass transit incident. The story behind that. The same mentality is what I have. You get in the ring with me, you better be ready to get your ass beat. So,
how do you feel about the young guys coming up in the business today?
very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. What happened to the times when you come in the locker room and you were green and you sat the fuck down and you didn't say nothing? You got your bag, you got dressed, you sat there until the veterans spoke to you. You greeted, you sat down and shut up. Now they don't do it. They come in the locker room, they think they know everything, they think you can do everything. I told them in a meeting downstairs, I said, you go out there and do what you're told. If not, I'm going to beat your ass when you get back here.
Good enough. Who's the stiffest guy you've been in the ring with?
Vic the Bruiser.
Vic?
I love Vic to death, bless his heart, and he's probably got the hardest chops next to Gypsy Joe that I've ever felt in my life. I mean, I thought my lungs were going to come out my spine the first time he hit me. And I can see him now laughing about it. I went home many nights with handprints. Vic here, Vic here, Vic here, Vic here, Vic here, like he was giving my chest a high five. But it was a learning process. Vic he took me from hardcore wrestling and made me the wrestler I am. He said, you have to respect the business, and I'm going to show you that you don't have to go and swing chairs and bleed and carry on. You can wrestle. You got talent. And so.
we talked about the young guys. How do you feel about the state, of the business as a whole right now?
Vince McMahon has killed wrestling. Vince McMahon has killed wrestling and destroyed a product that the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, the Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Lex Luger, the British Bulldog, the stuff that I grew up with, and he's turned it into a business about sex and so-called entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing entertaining about the same guy holding the belt for 9 years. And but like I said, the wrestling business people, they feed into this stuff. You feed into it, they believe it. They go home thinking, "Oh man, my favorite wrestler just got beat up," and so I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch it and follow it. That's what you want to do, but he's destroyed it. So,
Is there anybody in the Indies that you haven't worked with that you'd like to?
I would honestly say, and bless his heart, I got to meet him and I've seen him, but I would give anything in the world to wrestle Gypsy Joe. I know he's been through the ringer and he's one of my all time favorites, but I would love, I would love to be able to sit down and work a match out and get to working. I got to meet Mr. Perfect.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. Buff Bagwell, Sandman, New Jack, Rhino, Taz. I've met them all. Been in the same locker room with them. And but I believe Gypsy Joe, or if we get Stone Cold to come back,
Right.
I think that would be one of my all time favorites.
How do you feel about rats? Like, it's kind of changed from the old days to now.
Ain't nothing changed. They
No.
still there. They still
Yeah.
after the same thing they were 15
Okay.
years ago. Oh, that's my man. He did this. He did that. Matter of fact, we was talking about it tonight when we were working. We got one out in the audience right now, right this very minute, that thinks that the rumors she's spreading, and the guy has no idea who this person is, and I was laughing. I guess they figured they get attached to a wrestler, they're gonna live this big luxury life,
Yeah.
But we're all independent. We do it because we love it, and but they still do the same things. You can call them and get hotel rooms. You can get money. You can get rides. They'll drive 5 states to come pick you up just to say they rode with you. So.
Do you have a favorite road story?
It'd have to be with Todd and Bull and all of us going to these the fair shows that BBW did, and JC, and because we pulled ribs on each other the whole time, and that's what made it fun. I mean, doing the shows, seeing the fans, but JC got me good. He put mouse traps outside the hotel, outside the bathroom door, and I got up, went to the bathroom, and him and Simon Says put 8 of them right in front of the bathroom door, and I was barefoot. And I come out with half awake, and I stepped in them. Oh, I could have killed him. I could have killed Bubba, I swear. I thought I lost my toes. They swelled up. It hurt to wear my wrestling boots. We were on a 3-day in a row fair show. We had 3 shows to do. So,
Why should someone buy a ticket to see Billy Black?
because I'm a violent son of a bitch. I give them what they want. They want me to punch somebody, I'm going to punch them. They want me to staple them, I'm going to staple them. They come here to see, if they come to see Billy Black run around with a boa on and frilly tights and sparkles, then they need to go some fucking way else. It ain't going to happen here. So.
How does Billy Black get pumped up for a show?
Listen to my music, and I'm a strong man of faith. I believe that God's given me a talent, and I put it to use. And believe it or not, 14 years I still get nervous. 2 days before the show, the night before the show, I can't sleep. I'm here thinking about the stuff I need to do, what I need to watch, and so I thank my blessings, and then when it's time, I sit by myself, I listen to my music, and get my heart rate up, and then I go out there and get what they want. So.
Has there ever been a time where you thought about walking away from the business?
I did walk away from business, and I'm gonna shoot it straight with you. For a year, we was on the road traveling, and this was a downfall of my life. And some of the guys I was with, being in this business, your body hurts. So you find a way to make it feel better. You start with pills, and then you keep going. My downfall was I got hooked on dope, and finally, after about 11 months of having enough, um, I tried to take my own life. And I decided that 8 hours after I woke up that God had me here for a reason, and it was time for me to go home. I went back home to Kentucky. I sat in my mom's living room, and I told her, I was like, the things that I've done, I'm not proud of, and I'm disappointed that I would fall to that because I know my dad looking down on me is disappointed. And I laid I laid my keys on the table. I laid all what money I had left, and I was like, "Don't let me leave the house till I'm clean." And I laid in my mom and dad's bedroom floor for 2 weeks. Didn't know day from night. Didn't know what time it was. And after about 14 days of laying there, I decided, it's time to do what I need to do to survive. I got up. I got a job. I took a break from the military. I re-enlisted in the military, and just hit my 19-year mark. I've done my deployment. I went to Afghanistan 2 years ago and did my 18 months. So, and this story is not just for you, but I've shared this story with my troops, and I've told them that no matter what goes on in your life, the downfall, there's nothing worth taking your own life over. You know, I look back and see the kids that I've touched. There's kids out there right now who's 20 and 22 years old who have kids of their own that come to watch Billy Black wrestle when he was 19, 20 years old. So I've touched a lot of hearts, but I didn't see that then. All I seen was I've disappointed everybody, and I look at it. So
Yeah. What title has meant the most to you that you've won?
I believe the one that meant the most to me, besides the hardcore division title of CCW and BBW, was the first time I won the BBW heavyweight title. And I knew that Joe Bailey, I knew that Victor Bruiser was proud because him and Todd Morton took me and molded me, and for me to win that title and know that I worked for a year and a half and did what I was told and finally won it and got to be a champion, that I reached my goal there. And that's what everybody looks for, is to carry the belt and say, hey, I've done this.
Have you trained anybody, or would you ever want to be a trainer?
I've worked with some of the young guys in the business up here. I actually trained a girl about 11 years ago by the name of Lady Lexus. She ended up hooking up with a girl who wrestled at BBW, and ended up going to Mexico and wrestling for Lucha Libre Femenil. It was the main event, and I actually got a poster in the mail from her about 2 years back, and she said, because of you, my dreams have come true, and I've got it in a frame on the wall at the house. So that's one of the persons I trained.
What's your favorite pro wrestling moment as a fan?
In which division, independent or pro?
Pro.
I don't know. I got some minutes. Honestly, I don't know. I have a lot. There's plenty of independent, and then on the WWE side or watching it, like I said, I'm a hard guy to please, but with Steve Austin, he's always going down as my favorite. So anything he could walk out and say hello in the ring, and I'm tickled to death about it. So
How do you want to be remembered when you retire?
that I'm a violent son of a bitch. That's how I want to be remembered. And I think I've done that. I think I want him to look back and go, you know what, that guy did whatever it took to please the fans. He didn't care what he put his body through. And I told him that this business was going to be the death of me. That I would go until either I ended up in a wheelchair or I went till I closed my eyes in that ring, and that was it.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to any of your fans or anybody out there?
Don't give up on the independent scene. CCW is growing. You need to come check the show out. I mean, the guys behind the scene and the owners we have now has taken and given the people of Evansville and Indiana the product that they want. I don't care what anybody says. The bastard on the internet that's talking about us being trash bag wrestlers, he can bring his fat ass down there and get in the ring, and I'm gonna show him what a trash bag wrestler is.
Thanks again, man.
Hey, absolutely.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Appreciate the time.